Basement. As you can see, this used to be a bank. That's the big old safe. This was a bank. This is the basement. Right above it, condensation and stuff. But they're using this as storage. Used to be lockers in here, or safety deposit box, no more. But this used to be a bank, like I said. So let's go over here and look at what's been going on here. So right above us is the kitchen. You can see how bottom down here, water's going between the sheetrock and the concrete. It's solid concrete and sheetrock. Actually, it's cement blocks, which are 8 inches wide, about a foot. And then put that. Okay, so we're looking up here now. And if you look closely, you can see the damage, the water coming down out to this carpet. And if you look, like, I'm not sure if you can see that angle, you see water that was coming down the ceiling. Okay, so what's happening is if we go over here, we're going to look. So when those drains clog up and the floor gets flooded, what's happening is it's like following paths. Like if you look at this, it's following the outside of the conduit from up there, and it gets in these boxes. You see these, and then that's a fire hazard. And then you got over here, and then if we look, this is what I was talking about. These clamps, these metal clamps with rubber. They instead of just replacing this whole piece, they just put clamps everywhere, which is not very professional, in my professional opinion. How's that? Look at all these. I mean, look at on one pipe, all the clamps. Wouldn't it be more feasible just to replace it? If there's that many pinholes, and I don't believe it. I think they were putting a show on, because this stuff right here, you see, that's some thick stuff made. It's not that old. This restaurant's that old, okay? It's made to handle that. So why were all these clamps put on? It is my opinion to make it look like it really did some, because, or they don't know how to do it right. That's just too many clamps. I mean, that's ridiculous. So you get MPG. This is what you have here. Okay, Atma, something like that. Okay, so you have this, and if you look closely up in this stuff, it's following, getting on the. You see the water damage on the air vents. You see the water damage on the pipe. It's all really leaking from the ceiling, from where the pipes, they had, since these pipes weren't originally here, they drilled through the holes through the walls and put some supports and stuff. But what I believe is that they can stop most of it if they are not a little less messy, and the cleaning crew doesn't flood the floors. And that would stop quite a bit of it. It's water damage. The main thing to do is to not flood the floors up there. And for this pipe, this is not rusty here. There's no way that was leaking like that. I'm just telling you. And most of the water was dripping on it. Yeah, see that rust there? That was coming from above. And then it's slipping and sliding, going, follows all these lines and stuff like that. That's not leaking there, it's following, coming down and over there, and there's more spots everywhere there. And then we're going to come down here. I want to show you something. The ceiling at one time, especially in the vault room, think about this. The ceiling, you see, most of this they took out because there was water. The ceiling is supposed to look kind of like that. But if you go over here where the cooks are and everything, it's much darker. It's looking pretty bad, where the moisture from the restaurant is seeping through. You can see that it's this building wasn't meant to have a restaurant be right above where the basement is. I don't believe it was. I mean, I don't know who the engineer was, but I'm just saying, it doesn't, okay, the concrete's supposed to be white like this, with no water. You can tell that little bit, because they drilled a hole there maybe, but it's supposed to be white, not like this darkness here with, it looks like mildew almost coming over there. That's the ceiling, okay? So I want you to just get a view. This was the room where they stored the safety deposit box, okay? And then we're going up to the ceiling, false ceiling, and that's your space between floors, okay? So that's what I'm saying. And then they took these tiles off because there was moisture up there. Somebody said something, but if you look, yeah, it looks like there was some kind of moisture going on here. And you see that? There's a seam right there. Right there. That is where that seam is, where the floor is cracked, and above is where the cooks are. Okay, so so they've been getting, since the restaurant came in, this wasn't like this. All this moisture is coming, all this saying it's come from the restaurant. And then over here, what they didn't tell us about, and you see the stains, they replaced a lot of these tiles, but there's still water spots. And they put that because the floor of this room is a culprit. This is the big problem, this room. This was a storage room that they didn't tell us about and was flooding out really bad. I mean, just really bad. And over here, we cleaned it up because it was really flooded bad. They took a wall out right here. And it seems they took a wall out right here. I'm not sure why. But now if you look at this tile here, and look, you can see where water has been coming off, dripping off from these toilets and stuff. I don't know, over here there's an open vent. And then, but you see how the water was coming down and going down the wall, flooding this floor, this whole area on the outside, and like that. You can see how bad that is. That is a sprinkler system, but this water dripping, it was dripping from way up there. So the source is actually from that floor and those drains. I'm going to pause for a minute. I talk a lot.